concrete helipad is slick with early morning city mist. High above trading floors where grey skyscrapers scrape the sky. The low-hanging Manhattan smog is swirling as the dawn is kissed by a pale, desaturated twilight that catches my weary eye. A vintage metal attaché briefcase sits abandoned on the cold floor, beside a heavy black brick cellular telephone that never rings. A stack of printed financial newspapers bound by twine near the door tells the hollow stories of a material empire and the currency it brings. But my mind is drifting far across the transatlantic grid, searching for the phantom signal of a love I closely hid. The sweeping ripples at my collar from the river down below, as the sharp vintage flanged bass begins its icy climb. I feel your ghostly presence within the pale morning glow, dismantling all physical boundaries of distance and time. Near or far, across these lonely oceans of concrete and steel, I know the transmission of our devotion is absolutely real. Once more you short circuit the locks upon my isolated heart, ensuring that no distance can ever tear our analog souls apart. The icy digital vintage synths cry out through the Manhattan dawn, as my dramatic baritone proclaims that our bond goes on and on. I pull my trench coat tight against the rain pattering on asphalt, knowing our permanent connection brings all my doubts to a halt. Every night in my fitful dreams I see your neon silhouette running through the rain-slicked avenues of my anxious mind. A brilliant cinematic vision that my soul will never forget, the most precious nostalgic treasure that I was destined to find. They say that love is a transient luxury in this modern age, a temporary arrangement that eventually burns out into grey. But your memory is permanently etched upon my life's page, a sacred sanctuary that will never drift or fade away. No financial ruin can diminish what we once possessed. No towering high-rise can reach a soul so beautifully blessed. Standing on the edge as the city lights slowly start to fade, I swear my absolute allegiance to the promises we made. Near or far, across these lonely oceans of concrete and steel, I know the transmission of our devotion is absolutely real. Once more you short circuit the locks upon my isolated heart, ensuring that no distance can ever tear our analog souls apart. The icy digital vintage synths cry out through the Manhattan dawn, as my dramatic baritone proclaims that our bond goes on and on. I pull my trench coat tight against the rain pattering on asphalt, knowing our permanent connection brings all my doubts to a halt. Far across the miles, through the cold morning smog, my heart goes on, static on the brick phone line, but your frequency remains perfectly clear.
I'ma drill it up. 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 I'ma get it at. I'ma get it at. Yeah. Cold fog rolling through the mountain pass. Chilly morning breeze hitting the DeLorean glass. Going doors up, checking the portable screen. The most lonely retro landscape that you've ever seen. Let the heavy bass line roll. I'm sitting on the roadside under tall pine trees. Freezing drizzle falling on a dark mountain breeze. The analog television is nothing but static line, reflecting all the sorrow in this heavy heart of mine. I keep on staring down the winding narrow cliffside track, wishing that a simple rewind could bring your spirit back. I'm trapped inside this valley with a heavy mist is dense, and all my inner thoughts are making less and less sense. I wish I had your memory locked completely in the case, instead of tracing shadows of your gorgeous smiling face. My chest is feeling heavy like an unspoken cassette, filled with all the fragile words that I haven't told you yet. I tried to find a clearing through the pale gray morning light, but the emptiness is freezing through the static of the night. I know I made a mistake when I let you walk away. Now I'm stuck inside a retro dream with nothing left to say. I'm completely out of rhythm, I am lost without your touch. The 808 is booming, but I miss your love too much. Scratching up the vinyl while the mountain echo cries, looking for a beacon under cold and misty skies. It can't be too late to reset the master line and bring your sweet devotion back to match with mine. A canvas duffel bag is lying empty on the hood, beside the fading static of a love misunderstood. I pull my collar tight against the bitter winter chill, while the raw electro melody is echoing so shrill. I wonder if you're reaching for your telephone dial, if you put away the memory of our vintage style. There is no easy highway through a heart that's torn apart, just a heavy bassline grinding at the center of my heart. Your touch was like a ventus of the soft melody line, a beautiful arrangement that was perfectly divine. But now the subway noise is just an echo in my brain, mixing with the freezing rain to amplify the pain. I'm calling out your name across the deep and rocky space, hoping for a radar flash to find your hiding place. I'm completely out of rhythm, I am lost without your touch. The 808 is booming, but I miss your love too much. Scratching up the vinyl while the mountain echo cries, looking for a beacon under cold and misty skies. It can't be too late to reset the master line and bring your sweet devotion back to match with mine. I'ma turn it up. 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 I'ma turn it up.
The dashboard clock is moving slow at the dawn of the day. The pastel pink is bleeding soft across the eastern sky. And on the coast I'm asking all the silent reasons why. Your memory is hanging like a shadow on the chrome. A lonely cruiser searching for a way to journey home. I left behind the heavy tears we cried in yesterday, and watched the golden morning wash the lonely gray away. A vintage moped sitting by the old public phone, a broken dial tone that tells me I am driving all alone. I click the plastic buttons on my yellow Walkman tight to drown out all the echoes of a bittersweet long night. The sea breeze carries traces of the perfume that you wore, like summer jasmine blooming on a bright forgotten shore. The rhythm of the tide is playing out an old refrain, a melody of love that somehow mixes with the pain. The radio is catching static from a distant tower, but in my chest I feel the surge of high voltage power. The analog horizon opens wide and beautifully clear. I'm letting go of every single ghost I used to hold dear. Oh, we are cruising down the coastal Sunrise Boulevard, beneath the sky of peach and gold, where keeping love is hard. Let the vintage lindrum patterns drive the shadows far away, as the pulsing Juno bassline greets the colors of the day. Yeah, the V8 engine soft hum is a comfort in the breeze, sweeping past the silhouettes of retro neon palm trees. I can feel the sweetest date beginning slowly to release into the dawn, into the light. I finally find my peace. The streetlights flicker out against the changing morning air. I trace the empty shape of where you used to sit and stare. The chrome trim of the mirrors catches flashes of the waves, releasing all the secrets that my heavy spirit craves. I'm humming out the chorus of a song we used to spin before the winter took the sun and let the cold night in. But every note is changing in the warmth of early dawn. The heavy smoke of all our dark illusions is now gone. I pull over to the side where the sandy walkways meet. The ocean foam is crashing down in rhythm, slow and sweet. The cassette tape keeps on turning as the tape head reads the groove, a retro heartbeat telling me it's time for me to move. No more collecting pieces of a love that couldn't last. I'm driving past the boundary of our sweet cinematic past. The radio is catching static from a distant tower, but in my chest I feel the surge of high voltage power. The analog horizon opens wide and beautifully clear. I'm letting go of every single ghost I used to hold dear. Oh, we are cruising down the coastal Sunrise Boulevard, beneath the sky of peach and gold, where keeping love is hard. Let the vintage lindrum patterns drive the shadows far away, as the pulsing Juno bassline greets the colors of the day. Yeah, the V8 more. The morning steals the sorrow that was locking up my mind, leaving all the heavy tears of yesterday behind. Oh, we are cruising down the coastal Sunrise Boulevard, beneath the sky of peach and gold, where keeping love is hard. Let the vintage Lindrum patterns drive the shadows far away, as the pulsing Juno bassline greets the colors of the day. The V8 engine soft hum is a comfort in the breeze, sweeping past the silhouettes of retro neon palm trees. I can feel the sweetest state beginning slowly to release into the dawn, into the light. I finally find my peace. The sun is fully up now, painting everything in gold. The Walkman tape clicks off, story completely told. Just the gentle ocean waves against the warm sand, past the horizon, stretching out across the land. New beginnings in the beautiful morning light.
Walking blind beneath the blinding rays, hiding behind dark aviator glass, watching the waves of the pastel heat on the concrete skyline pass. The world is talking loud today, spinning a web of a cynical shade, saying a love built on a summer vow is bound to shatter and fade. But looking at you by the ocean
state-of-the-art design. Wild skateboards with neon plastic guards and wild checkered grip tapes sit waiting in a line. I stand right at the lip of the vertical half pipe, watching the city dust rise and spin around, leaning back against my heavy custom chopper, staring down at the hard, unforgiving ground. Darling, I don't even know where to begin this raw confession under the graffiti wall. I've held too much inside my leather-clad chest, afraid to let my tough defenses fall. You saw right through the reckless side of the street, smart kid I hide so carefully away, leaving me stranded here in the twilight with all the high voltage words I couldn't say. Through the burnt orange haze, the twin cylinders start to violently ignite, an iron stallion screaming for freedom underneath the concrete shadows of the night. Please remember I am yours to hold when the cold asphalt turns to dark indigo shade. I'm begging for the unchained shelter of a romantic fire that will never fade. More than my spray painted heart can ever explicitly say. I'm riding through the urban ruins just to find a missing day. You pulled me from the concrete gutters where the wild boulevard boys hide. You tamed the raging heavy thunder that was locked deep inside my pride. Yeah, the vintage chrome is shining bright beneath the halogen beams. I'm racing back to give you the keys to all your long forgotten dreams. More than these lips can scream, more than my metal spirit can say. The massive portable boombox sits on the ledge, dropping a heavy analog rock and roll beat, rattling the aluminum cans and echoing through the empty sun-baked neighborhood street. I was a road drifter running blind down the dangerous tracks until you brought me home, giving me a sacred sanctuary beneath this cold, towering metropolitan dome. I was wrong to ever hurt your trust, wrong to let our engine slip completely out of gear. Now my vintage exhaust pipes are howling out your classic name so crystal clear. The graffiti tags are going in the dust, drawing hearts wrapped in thick iron chain, reminding my soul of how we used to laugh before we let the love turn into pain. Keep me close to where you are, even when I drift too far out on the line. I'll pay the heavy-duty price to make sure your unchained spirit stays mine. Can you hear the vintage dual pipes screaming out against the concrete ridge? I'm striking steel on steel tonight.
The desert is wide open, and we are driving straight into the dawn. The endless flat highway stretches out under a vast and awakening sky, while the low-angled purple and crimson sun rays capture the sparkle in your eye. We are cruising fast in a sleek white luxury sports car towards the bright horizon line, with the loose handwritten VHS tape resting gently on the leather dashboard design. Every time you pack your vintage suitcase and step away into the early morning mist, you leave a trail of beautiful memories that my lonely spirit simply can't resist. I used to feel so fractured, like a puzzle missing its most essential parts, stuck in the static of 1,000 questions, tearing through our fragile hearts. But the heat haze is shimmering now over the open road, so wide and free, and the motion of the wheels is bringing back the hidden joy inside of me. Why do we spend so many late nights counting up the bitter tears we cried when we could be running wild and free, where our deepest inner thoughts collide? The dawn is breaking beautifully across the edge of this quiet desert plain, washing away the heavy shadows of our past doubts and all the lingering pain. Every time you drive away, you leave a little piece of magic in my mind, a gorgeous neon watercolor story that the passing seasons left behind. Let the sunny vintage DX7 electric piano, the scattered pieces of our romance, and making the narrative whole. Oh, show me how to chase the sunrise along the endless asphalt floor. We are moving to a brighter tempo than we ever felt before. The bouncy vintage mini-move bassline driving us into the light. Our love is a spectacular horizon, shining incredibly warm and bright. The distant mountain ridge is glowing with an intense and golden frame, as the wind through the open windows seems to whisper your love, your name. I spent too many seasons worried about the moments when you had to go, fearing the quiet space of emptiness that a solitary heart can know. But look at how the chrome details catch the brilliance of the morning sun, and in a log proof that our spectacular journey has only just begun. We don't need the crowded city to validate the sacred promises we made. Our devotion is etched in the canyon walls, a color that will never fade. Turn a 1980s TR 808 cowbell up until the dashboard starts to hum. We are dancing effortlessly to the joyful heartbeat of the electronic drum. No more looking back at the lonely highway miles that we left far behind.
bridges damp with river mist, a hidden corner where the hours don't exist. At 1:45 beneath Venetian skies, the rolling canal fog begins to rise. The ancient city blurs to shades of grey as we escape the turning world of day. An iron street lamp throws a yellow ring upon the dark canal where shadows cling. A small 5-inch portable TV set rests on the cold stone balustrade wet, displaying black and white static bright. The flickering screen illuminates your face, a perfect portrait inside this hidden space. The analog signals twist and fade away. We do not care what passing voices say. The electronic hum is low and deep, a private vow that our two spirits keep. Oh, Venetian static screen, our secret soul. The flickering cat of greed will make us whole. With pulsing vintage Juno basslines on the rise, I'll find my home inside your mesmerizing eyes. Beneath the yellow street lamps and the shroud, we hide away from the noisy urban crowd. Electronic sim and snares crack through the mist inside a dream where only you and I exist. As long as your retro heartbeat beats with mine. The dark water whispers to the ancient wall as distant church bells softly start to call. Your shadow dances on the paving stone, proving that in the dark I am never alone. The glass screen is heavy with a pale gray glow, reflecting patterns from the long ago. You are the silence that my spirit craves, the calmest water after heavy waves. Beyond the clocks and the turning tide, there are no ghosts or old regrets to hide. This dream we're building on the foggy bay. The cosmic synths are drifting through the air. The vintage arpeggiator starts to climb, to freeze this static moment out of time. We feel a setting devotion resting there. Just you and me along the misty canal, listening to the echo of our love farewell. The neon sign electric hum is low. Watch the black and white static go. Venetian static on fire. Forever yours and mine. The city pressure builds inside my weary head, chasing after ghost illusions, words left unsaid. The weight of the assembly line, the gray office tower, leaves me feeling hollow in the twilight hour. gliding smooth across the polished hardwood floor. And all the heavy burdens don't matter anymore. The purple locks of light are slicing through the room, chasing out the shadows of the metropolitan gloom. You extend your velvet glove, you catch me by the wrist and drag me out of every dark and lonely existential mist. The world outside is rushing by in high velocity gears, but right here in the circle, the confusion disappears. The Christmas bells are echoing against the plexiglass as the neon roller skaters make another sweeping pass. The master of ceremonies turns the classic volume high, and I look into your eyes beneath the artificial sky. You elevate my soul above the crowded concrete floor until I'm sailing higher than I ever did before. You lift me past the clouds and the industrial smoke like a beautiful melody. The midnight DJ spoke. I am strong when I am gliding with your hand in mine, an analog transmission that is perfectly divine. You raise me from the gravity of sorrow and defeat to the rhythm of the bassline, rolling down the city street underneath the magenta lights. We're floating into space, saved from the exhaustion by your cinematic grace. There is a restless hunger in the modern teenage heart, a fear of growing older and of drifting far apart. The circuitry is delicate, we beat imperfectly, lost inside the static of a plastic century. But when you close the distance and you skate alongside me, the flashing strobe illumination lets my spirit see a glimpse of something timeless in the way a jacket swings, a simple retro romance that can give a human wings. We skate into the violet dust that captures Los Angeles, finding a sanctuary from the cold metropolis. With every revolution of the polyurethane wheels, the old anxiety is healed by the way your proximity feels. And sometimes in the middle of the smoke machine display, the heavy hands of history just melt completely away. I catch a momentary flash of absolute infinity, grounded by the rhythm of our cosmic synchronicity. We don't need the mountains or the stormy open seas, just this roller rink oasis and our favorite melody. Concrete floor until I'm sailing higher than I ever did before. You lift me past the clouds and the industrial smoke like a beautiful melody. The midnight DJ spoke. I'm strong when I'm gliding with your hand in mine, an analog transmission that is perfectly divine. You raise me from the gravity of sorrow and defeat to the rhythm of the bassline, rolling down the city street underneath the magenta lights. We're floating into space, safe from the exhaustion by your cinematic grace. The lasers slow their blinking as the midnight hour arrives. The record drops its pitch upon our ordinary lives, but I am still suspended in the wonder of your glow, while the rain begins to chatter on the pavement down below. world is standing still. Past the neon lights and over the Hollywood hill. Forever vintage, forever high. Underneath the Los Angeles sky.
The pavement glows under magenta neon glare. I'm by the payphone, tossing quarters in the air. The radio pumps a heavy analog bass line through mist, but my mind spins back to the night we first kissed. I trace your name with spray paint on a brick wall, waiting for the shadows of the avenue to fall. My leather jacket's cold, but my spirit burns high, looking for your face underneath the midnight sky. Gears turn like a cassette tape on rewind, searching for the pieces of the piece I left behind.
Oh, my battery fades, but my heart beats on the line. Dancing through heartbreak in this retro classic time. The rhythm keeps me moving, but my soul stands still, chasing after shadows that the neon cannot fill.
Yeah, electro flow hits,
But the frequency is blue,
every single circuit in my body sparks for you.
spinning on cardboard, reaching for your hand.
The loneliest b-boy in this concrete wonderland. The sub bass is booming, shaking up street foundation, but inside my chest is just a silent station. We used to glide across the hardwood floor so clean, before bitter static ruined our perfect scene. Now vinyl is scratching, tearing up groove we made. Watch memories flicker like a broken retro blade. I'll whisper to the alley, let frequency transmit to the window where your pastel lamps are lit.
Oh, my battery fades, but my heart beats on the line. Dancing through heartbreak in this retro classic time. The rhythm keeps me moving, but my soul stands still, chasing after shadows that the neon cannot fill.
Yeah, electro flow hits,
But the frequency is blue,
every single circuit in my body sparks for you.
spinning on cardboard, reaching for your hand.
The loneliest b-boy in this concrete wonderland.
Let the bass line take flow.
Siren wailing, 12% volume, under pink neon. I'm still waiting. Peace. Peace.
The morning breaks across the timber, a pale and frosted dawn. The tactical maps are put away, the tracking part is gone. I watch you standing quietly by the edge of this completely glassy lake. A secret mountain sanctuary from the heavy rules we had to break. The low mist crawls across the wooden pier, so dense and silver gray, as if to camouflage our hideout from the prying light of day. I see your silhouette arise against the rising alpine sun. The only piece of peace I've found,
Since we've been running on the run, they sent their searchlights to the border, tried to close the iron ring, but they could never calculate the absolute devotion that you bring. When the perimeter sensors flash, you anchor down my spinning mind, leaving the chaos of the city grid a million miles behind. Inside the rugged logging cabin walls, the cast iron stove is bright, burning up the cedar logs we split against the freezing winter night. I look through the viewfinder of my manual film camera lens, capturing the frozen stillness where our wild escape begins. The world outside is full of syndicates and corporate schemes, a cold conspiracy designed to crush our independent human dreams. But when you touch my leather sleeve within the damp and heavy air, the strategic danger fades away. I lose my automated dark despair. You keep me warm within your arms, beside the lonely timberline, an analog reality where your heartbeat safely syncs with mine. They wanna break our spirit down to tear our survival unit apart, but they don't know the heavy shielding of an authentic tactical heart. The wind is whistling through the needles of the ancient pine trees, carrying our heavy secrets out across the mountain breeze. We left the neon traps behind to find a deeper, quiet ground where the alarms cannot echo and were beautifully never found. So tell me, how deep is the shield of your love in the mist? The ultimate defense that the tracking teams have missed. They are living in a world of fools and grinding iron gears, trying to dismantle all the architecture we've built across the years. But we belong together where the water meets the freezing sky, a pair of renegades who refuse to let their signal fire die. You are my navigation light through every darkest hour, my emergency generator and my secret source of power. Show me the hidden coordinates, let the backup system start. I need to know the depth of loyalty locked inside your heart. Our wooden rowboat is tied securely down at the floating dock, a silent vehicle of escape if the enforcers try to breach the lock. But looking at your steady eyes, I know we'll hold this isolated base, defying every algorithmic scanner in this forgotten holy space. Defense that the tracking teams have missed. They are living in a world of fools and grinding iron gears, trying to dismantle all the architecture we've built across the years. But we belong together where the water meets the freezing sky, a pair of renegades who refuse to let their signal fire die. I need to know the depth of loyalty
locked inside your heart. Locked inside your heart. As the morning fog completely blankets the logging trail, the fire in the wood stove burns low and say, how deep is your love? How deep is your love? Redwood highway winds through the giant ancient trees, as the early morning mist is floating on the coastal breeze. Soft beams of filtered gold and silver break the canopy high, painting light across the asphalt under a quiet Oregon sky. Cream-colored camper van is parked at a dirt pull-out space, while a steaming tin coffee pot warms up this isolated place. I'll watch the wood grain CRT screen flicker with static fuzz, but my mind is tuned to a memory that always captures what was. There's a vintage look in your eyes that I can never replace, a sweet aesthetic of devotion that time can never erase. You used to feel like a distant dream floating out of my reach. Signals to align. We are cruising down the straightaway to make your spirit mine. The closer I get to your harbor, the closer I get to your heart. I can feel the premium rhythm telling me we'll never part. With the vintage studio drums keeping a perfect steady pace, and the active vintage slap bass thumping in this quiet space. Every little smile you give me is a special vintage design. Give it just a little more time, so the cruise can settle down. I found my ultimate inspiration inside your gentle touch, a high fidelity feeling that I need so incredibly much. The morning dew is dripping slow from the oversized emerald ferns, as tape loops inside the deck follow all our highway turns. Hold me close on the custom seats and say you'll decide to stay. Let the smooth saxophone solo echo through the forest grand. The West Coast duet harmonies are rising sweet and clear. The closer I get to your harbor, the closer I get to your heart. I can feel the premium rhythm telling me we will never part. Getting closer to you, baby, with every morning light. Underneath the giant redwoods, in a permanent design.
The polished hardwood of the empty basketball court is glowing low tonight. Beneath the lazy rotation of a spinning mirror ball, casting slow pastel dots. The silver tinsel hangs deflated from the rafters in the fading light, beside clusters of balloons that drift like forgotten romantic thoughts. It is 1:30 in the morning, a quiet California coastal night, washed in an artificial rain that patters down on the slick driveway. Parking space. I look at the dropped corsages on the floor, crushed out of sight, left behind by a transient generation, rushing to find their designated place. We've survived our own share of violent storms and broken porcelain plates, navigating empty highways in the dark when our compass spun completely off the track, dismantling the cautious defensive armor built by the uncaring fates. Refusing to look at the historical wreckage or ever turn our weary bodies back, I trace your shoulder under the glow of the giant papier-mâché stars on high, realizing that inside your unique frequency is the only territory where I never lie. The mechanical hands of the school clock are frozen tight upon the brick wall, as the sharp vintage flanger bass guitar begins its final melon climb. Your softest whisper is a high fidelity signal that answers when I call, dismantling every logical boundary of geographic space and fleeting time. Since you captured my analog heart, this universe don't operate the same. Every ordinary sunrise has been transformed into a brilliant neon flame. The icy digital vintage synths cry out through this abandoned auditorium hall, as my dramatic baritone swears an absolute allegiance that will never fall. If the brilliant colors of our youth eventually fade into a desaturated gray, and the blueprints of my processing system begin to slowly drift and decay, just say my name the way you did during that first legendary summer night, and I'll follow your transmission back to the harbor of your beautiful light. A half refill punch bowl sits abandoned on the long table counter ledge, covered by a checkered cloth that flaps softly in the incoming coastal breeze. We are standing on the precipice of a new decade, right on the bleeding edge, watching the remnants of our adolescent illusions drop down to their knees. But your natural gravity keeps my traveling spirit anchored and secure, an unchanging sanctuary inside a world that values superficial change. I still perceive your timeless elegance, running completely deep and pure, a sacred frequency that no external system could ever hope to rearrange. If I am granted 1,000 separate lifetimes to wander across the global grid, scanning the cold static of a million crowded metropolises for an authentic sign, I would dismantle every barrier to uncover the coordinates where your soul hid, ensuring that our separate analog frequencies would permanently align. Let the final slow dance music echo out through the dark empty gym tonight. Our connection is a permanent monument that requires no commercial light, dismantling the cautious boundaries of the past under the spinning mirror ball. I broadcast my eternal devotion across the perimeter of this abandoned wall. Since you captured my analog heart, this universe don't operate the same. Every ordinary sunrise has been transformed into a brilliant neon flame. The icy digital vintage synths cry out through this abandoned auditorium hall, as my dramatic baritone swears an absolute allegiance that will never fall. If the brilliant colors of our youth eventually fade into a desaturated gray, and the blueprints of my processing system begin to slowly drift and decay, just say my name the way you did during that first legendary summer night, and I'll follow your transmission back to the harbor of your beautiful light. The last slow dance under the fading pastel blue and pink dots. The rain keeps falling on the asphalt while the gym lights click down to dark.